I'm sitting here listening to all them men in there on TV lose their minds and get everybody so riled up it ain't even funny. And I'm sitting here thinking about anger management. You know, in the process I had to go through with all that crazy shit and what had happened and what had transpired in order for me to get to where I'm at. But I mean, and I'm not saying DUIs are good. I got many DUIs. I got a lot of them. Never learned my lesson. You know, just kept digging the hole deeper and deeper. You know, and to the ones that get mad about all the DUIs, every time that you text, you put yourself and others at more risk than anybody that drink and drives. So you're statistically higher than a DUI offender, fucking up all the time, running over mailboxes and shit, and you know, acting like you didn't do anything because it happens. I mean, it does. But anyways, getting it when I was into the system of everything, whether it being getting in an argument with a family member and police showing up and already being on probation and getting hit on revoked and then having to sit at the county with no bond, 3 or 4 months, whatever. And then upon getting released, having to go to anger management and do fines and more stuff and see while in that system, you know, they're trying to throw some structure and shit, but it ain't enough. It ain't. And it costs money to do all this stuff. You know, and I was going to an anger management and I had to. But I got kicked out. It's like, how do you get kicked out of anger management? You know, you're supposed to get your anger out at anger management. And I'm a grown man. But maybe I was drinking. But still, it's like some of us, all we need to hear is something that clicks. You know, we have to deal with the people that drink because that is their medicine. But I get kicked out of anger management and I'll never forget it. But I told him, I said, man, you've got like 8 people in here times 45 for an hour and a half. You're making mad money all day long. But it's the kind of guy that he's never been like we have. He's never had any experience, you know, fucking up. And it's just like everybody plays the game just to get that certificate. But there's some of us that really try, you know. In my experience is going through all that shit, it didn't work. It's not set up to work. And I'm not saying it's bad, but my experience is there needs to be more, you know, and there really does. The individual has to want it more than anything. You know, but I'll never forget it. He was sitting out front and we were sitting there arguing because I thought I was going to have to go get revoked again and I had to go to another state and do it. But I did it. Did more. But I was standing out front and he told me. He said, I will see you on the front page for murder one day. And that's like, I don't know, I guess when you're down and out, that shit kind of sticks with you. But it's like, man, you know, fuck you. But there was many more relapses after that. But it was like, it was something that I would never forget. Because, see, that stuck with me. Be on front page for murder. Well, let's fast forward to December the 17th of 2014. This is about 5 years after that or something. And that's whenever I had a relapse on 12 16-ounce Bud Ices. Not natural lights, Bud Ices in about 5 minutes. It's 18 12-ounce beers. Bam. And when I relapsed, my ex-wife was here and she had called the law. And what had happened is when the law got here, they said I looked like I was a possessed demon of some sort. And so when they took me to the hospital, I had to have an evaluation, a mental evaluation. That's what usually happens to those of you that haven't gone through that shit yet, that argue all the fucking time. and go through some crazy shit with drugs and alcohol, they're going to show up and somebody's going to have to go to jail. We trust us. We've all done that. But anyways, when I'm at the emergency room, you know, there's cops up there. There's law. And I was, you know, in a blackout. But when I came to at the foot of my bed, it was the anger management guy. He works for the department that goes around and does the mental evaluations for the counties, I guess, to the hospitals. And it was him. And he was sitting there with his leg like this and his arm crossed, with his glasses down, and he's shaking like this. And I opened my eye like that, and something, in AA they call it a psychic change. But something ignited in me. And he did his glasses up, you know, real condescendingly. And right then and there, something just came over me. And it was, I can't explain it right now. I don't know what it's like. Sometimes I have in a minute or two, but I don't film it because I can't explain it. But I looked straight at him because, see, I knew what I had to do. There was a police officer there, and he said, you know, I was like, man, fuck this. I said, I can just go back home and just kill myself. And we all say that, that's in active addiction and drinking and shit and pills. And that police officer was like, man, just fucking go off for another week and come back. And that's when I was like, when I come back, I said, I'm gonna take that man's job one day. Well, now I don't want that man's job. We're doing that stuff without all that work permit stuff and everything else. And I said, I have to say that I'm going to harm myself. And he was like, do it. Come back and quit talking about it. You know, and I said, give me a cigarette. He was like, you don't smoke. And I was like, give me a fucking cigarette. So we went outside, and that's when I made that decision. It was already made from getting a visual. So when I get back in there and sit down, I said, you know, I'd like to just kill myself. And then that's when they strap you down. And he's like, yeah. And then Wright says, I don't even know what the codes are anymore to where you're going to harm yourself. And they send you to a detox, whether it be whether it be in Atlanta or wherever, whatever state you're in. But see, and all of my past experiences had led up to that moment. And see, my whole point with this exercise with me is your experience somewhere has got to ignite something to get you out of the hole that you're in. You know, because when I came back, an old man at Ridgeview in Atlanta, he was 89 years old, and he just came off the golf course. And I was like, damn. And he had 48 years clean, I think, playing golf. And then came from the golf course to the damn detox and be like, what's up? Hell yeah, quit fucking up. I'm here to tell you. Anyways, everybody else has passed out, and I'm just like, you know, mesmerized. And after that, he grabbed my hand and looked, and I felt something. Something transpired during that interaction. And he looked dead me in the eyes, and he said, you got it in you. You got it. You know, and it scared the shit out of me. Because I had never had somebody just say that. You know, so meaningly, and not saying you're a fuck up, you're just a drunk, you're a whore, you're a crackhead, you're a meth head or whatever. You know, and shit like that, then it's like, see, and it's like, whoa, and it's like gone, like an angel. You know, now I relapsed twice after that. But that shit, because I had told myself, I said, I can get 50 years clean. Damn. And he was like, no, that was the last thing I got to say to him before he walked off. He's like, worry about today. And see, and that's the thing, is we have to worry about today, but the past experiences get us to and through the day that we're going through. You know, and who knows? And see, some of us haven't been hit in certain ways, because all psychic changes and all come to Jesus is all, change of hearts. They all change in different ways. But the individual has to seek it. It's not going to fall out of the sky. That's why failure is so important. Failure is so important, and most of us have failed so much that we're used to it. That when we have success, we fuck it up. And it's like, that's our recipe. But the thing is having success based off past experiences and staying in the success in a spiritual kind of way, in an altruistic way, in an unselfish way. Not success according to this world, because that shit will crumble one day. And it will. That's why the past experiences build us into the stronger character that we can be. Because it's not easy going back through the history. I'd walked out of that hospital twice, ripped shit out of my arms and everything, gown and all. I don't even know how I grabbed $20, but I had $20 one time. Went to the store, bought an 18-pack, walked another 2 miles, dehydrated as shit, got to my house, sat down in the swing out there, had time to drink 2 beers, and then there's fucking 3 law out there. And I was like, shit! Can I drink these 2 at least before I go back? I swear I don't want to go to jail, It's fucking insanity. But see, all that has to fit together. Whatever it is that ignites that. We have to see something as visual. We have to pay attention to the individuals that we're talking to and that we're listening to. Like, whoever. They say, all this shit that I study though, they talk about fools. You learn more from fools than anything. You pay attention, But anger management is, a 1-hour thing for parents looking into that shit and putting their kids in it. It ain't gonna work. We have to identify what's going in the child's eyes and in their ears and shit. What are they watching on their phones? Are they playing games? Are they playing angry games? Are they watching angry movies? Are they eating a lot of sugar? Are they hooked to sugar? Are they hooked to energy? It's a number of things that if it's taken away, does it fuck with the kid's head? That creates that anger. Because the human bodies, we wasn't supposed to have all this shit thrown at us. And then once it slipped some days, and then we're just angry as shit. Road rage and all. Because we have been built to be just full throttle. Fuck it. Let's go, 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 go. And that's how it's designed. And those of us that have, been on the other side of some hard drinking and drugs and shit, we know how that shit is. We know how it is to really look at how fast everything is and to slow the fuck down. And to say, when I partake in that shit, then I'll crumble. It's simple. It's so simple it ain't funny. But if I don't identify the factors that are going into a child's mind or to an adult's mind, the substances, the foods and everything, medications, drinks, all of it. Everything has to be factored in. Then we can come up, with a game plan and say, all right, we've got to identify all this. And now we've got to start saying, all right, this causes this. And the older you get, it's funny, wisdom, because you can start identifying that shit. And truthfully, it's like, we get angry over the smallest things. And over time, it slowly goes away as if we start looking at it for what it is. Because it wasn't the anger that was eating me up. It was me fighting me. You know what I mean? And that's just how it is, trying to get nowhere, in a hurry to go absolutely nowhere. Anyways, I wanted to share that because, it's real talk, man. You ain't going to get that shit nowhere else. You know, people work recovery that's out there on social media and shit, and they get paid money. And, you know, are they doing it for status? Are they doing it for money? Are they doing it for, you know, personal gain? I don't know. I'm just asking. I don't want shit. I don't want anything. The only thing I'm doing is trying to pass on what was passed to me in a fucking crazy way, and then all this other shit just makes sense. So we got an added bonus with everything. Why not? You know, things are starting to come alive. I want to share this too. It's like I tell people, I'm like, look, when you really get into some of this, when you really take the connection back, you know, you can see the creation for what it is. The damn leaves and the trees dying right now. You know, spring, watching them come alive and breathe somewhat, and looking at the damn sky up there at the orbs and shit. It's amazing. And watching the sun and the moon's path each day instead of all this other shit. That's a whole nother video. But I love you.